For each of the following, we'd like to determine the single equivalent discount rate and the net cost factor. So in Part A, we've got 10% and 20%. We've got two trade discounts of 10 and 20%, and we'd like to figure out the single equivalent discount rate and the net cost factor. And B, we've got 30, 10, 4, and 2%. And in Part C, we've got 10%, 15%, and 5%. So in Part A, we want to determine the single equivalent discount rate for 10 and 20%. So we're going to use the formula net is equal to list times 1 less D1 and 1 less D2. Even though we don't know the net price and the list price, let's use that formula and see what happens. So we have net is equal to list times 1 minus 10% and 1 minus 20%. So we're going to multiply by these factors. And list multiplied by 90% or 0.90 and 0.80. We take 20% off something, we have 80% left. And multiplying these two factors together, we end up with net price is equal to list price times 0.72. Now this tells us that the net price is actually 72% of our list price. That means that the net cost factor is 72%. So our net price is 72% of our list. What that means also is that our reduction in the list price was in fact 28%. So the single equivalent discount rate, D, is equal to 28%. The amount of discount of 28% is the same as two trade discounts of 10 and 20%. In Part B, we actually have 4 trade discounts. So we're going to use the formula N is equal to list, net price is equal to list price times 1 less D1, 1 less D2, 1 less D3, and 1 less D4. So we've got 4 trade discounts. Now we don't know the net price and we don't know the list price, but we do know that the first trade discount is 30%. So we're going to take that off, 1, and 1 less 10%, and 1 less 4%, and 1 minus 2%. Those are 4 trade discounts. And so this means that the list price is multiplied by factors of 0.70, 30% off 100% is 70%, 90%, 0.90, 0.96, and 0.98. So multiplying these 4 factors together, these are 4 cost factors, we end up with a list price that needs to be multiplied by 0.5927. So that tells us that our net price is 59.27% of our list price. This represents our net cost factor. So the net cost factor is 59.27%. Furthermore, that also tells us that the single equivalent discount is 1 minus the 59%, or 100% minus 59.27%. This means that our single equivalent discount is 40.73%. So one discount of 40.73% is the same as 4 discounts of 30, 10, 4, and 2%. And in the third example, we'd like to determine the single equivalent discount rate and the net cost factor for 3 trade discounts of 10, 15, and 5%. So in this particular case, we're going to start off with net is equal to list times 1 minus D1, 1 minus D2, and 1 minus D3. So substituting our known trade discounts, we've got list times 1 minus 10%, 1 minus 15%, and 1 minus 5%. So now let's work out what the cost factors are for each of these trade discounts. We've got 0.90, 0.85, and 0.95. Multiplying the 3 cost factors together, we end up with a net that is equal to list multiplied by a factor of 0.72675. This means that our net cost factor is 72.675% of our list price. And also, this means that the single equivalent discount rate is 27.325% by subtracting that from 100%. So 100% minus the net cost factor of 72% will give us a single equivalent discount of 27.325%. That single discount is the same as 3 trade discounts of 10, 15, and 5.